The end is closer than anyone expected, and nothing in Outlander Season 8, Episode 10 is going to be gentle anymore. This is not just a finale. This is the moment where every secret, every sacrifice, and every broken promise comes back to demand its price. The past and future are no longer separate. They are about to collide in a way that will change everything forever. Because when time itself starts to feel unstable, even love cannot stay untouched. Everything begins in a silence that feels wrong. Not peaceful, but heavy. Like the world is holding its breath before something terrible arrives. The war is no longer a distant threat. It is already here, shaping every decision, every goodbye, every moment that still pretends to be normal. Jamie stands at the center of it all, but this is not the same man we knew at the beginning. He is quieter now, not weaker, but older in spirit. Every choice he makes feels like it costs him something he cannot replace, and yet he still carries forward because stopping is not an option anymore. The land, the people, the family, everything is tied to him, even when he wishes it wasn't. Claire feels it too. She always has. Time has never been a straight line for her. It has always been a wound that keeps opening. But now, that wound feels deeper. She is healing people, saving lives, holding things together that are clearly meant to fall apart. And still, there is something inside her that refuses to accept endings the way others do. Because Claire has always believed love can bend rules, even the rules of time. But this time feels different. There are whispers of what is coming. Not just war, but something bigger underneath it. A final turning point where nothing will remain safe or familiar. Even the smallest decisions feel like they are being watched by history itself, waiting to see who survives and who disappears into it. And then there is the family. The younger generation stands at the edge of something they do not fully understand yet. They are not just preparing for a battle, they are preparing for a goodbye they do not know is coming. Every conversation carries unspoken weight. Every look lasts a little too long. Even laughter feels like it is trying to hide fear, because deep down, everyone knows the truth. This is not just about winning or losing a war. It is about what will remain when it ends. Jamie and Claire try to hold on to each other in the middle of all this chaos, but even their bond feels tested in ways it never has before. They have survived time, distance, death, and impossible choices. But now, they are facing something else entirely. An ending that may not follow the rules they once believed in. And as the final hours approach, the air itself feels different. Like something unseen is already moving closer. Something that cannot be stopped. Something that will decide, once and for all, what their story was truly meant to be. The closer the battle comes, the more time feels like it is slipping through broken fingers. Nothing is spoken directly at first. No one wants to give fear a name because naming it makes it real. But it is already real. It is in the way Jamie looks at the land a little longer than usual, as if trying to memorize something he knows he might never see again. It is in the way Claire pauses before speaking, as if choosing words that will survive even after everything else falls apart. The idea of goodbye has started to settle in the air, even if no one dares to say it out loud. Jamie is not just a warrior anymore. He is a father, a protector, a man carrying too many futures on his back. Every decision now feels like a sacrifice wearing a different face. He knows the battle ahead will not be simple. It will not be clean. It will take more than courage. It will take loss. And he is already preparing himself for what that means. Even if it breaks him quietly inside, Claire sees it in him. She always sees everything, but this time she cannot fix it. That is the difference. For so long, Claire has been the one who heals, the one who saves, the one who reaches into the impossible and pulls people back from the edge. But now, she feels something shifting inside her role in this world. Healing is not enough anymore. Knowledge is not enough anymore. Time itself feels like it is closing around her choices, narrowing the paths she once thought were endless. And still, she refuses to stop trying. Because love for her has never been passive. It has always been action. It has always been defiance. The family gathers in moments that feel too normal to be safe. Conversations about small things try to hide the truth underneath them. But silence keeps breaking through. Even the youngest ones can feel it, that something final is approaching. Not just change, but separation. A kind of separation that cannot be undone by distance or time or hope. There is talk of the battle, but not the full truth of it. Everyone knows it will be brutal. Everyone knows it will reshape everything. But knowing and accepting are two different things. And acceptance feels impossible when the people you love are standing on the edge of danger. Jamie carries that weight hardest because he knows what leadership really means now. It means walking forward even when every instinct tells you to stop. It means being the one who does not get to fall apart. And Claire, she sees that too. There is a moment between them that does not need words. A glance that carries everything they have survived and everything they may not survive next. It is not fear they share. It is understanding. A quiet agreement that whatever happens next, they will face it as they always have. Together, even if together does not mean forever. But even that thought is dangerous now. Because time has started behaving strangely again. Not loudly, not dramatically, but subtly. Like reality itself is shifting its weight. Like something beyond their understanding is preparing to rewrite the rules one last time. And neither of them knows yet that this is only the beginning of what the final chapter truly demands. It does not arrive like a warning. It arrives like a truth that was always waiting. One moment there is tension, and the next, everything breaks. The world stops pretending to be calm. Every sound sharpens. Every breath becomes heavier. The land that once felt familiar now feels like a stage where fate has already written its ending, and everyone is simply walking into their final positions. Jamie moves first, as he always does when hesitation becomes dangerous. There is no grand speech that can prepare anyone for what is coming. Only the quiet understanding that this moment has been building for too long to avoid now. The battle is not just soldiers and weapons. It is history colliding with survival. It is belief against power. It is men being forced to decide how much they are willing to lose for something they cannot fully control. Claire stays close, but not because she belongs on the battlefield, because she refuses to be anywhere else. Her presence is not about fighting in the traditional sense. It is about holding on to life where she can, pulling people back from the edge when she is allowed to. But even she can feel the limits of that now. This battle is not just physical. It is something deeper, something that does not care how skilled she is or how much she knows. It cares only about outcome, and outcome feels already decided. The air itself feels unstable, like time is no longer flowing evenly, but bending around the violence unfolding. Moments feel stretched, then suddenly compressed. Voices seem to echo from places they should not reach. It is as if reality is struggling to remain consistent while everything inside it is being torn apart. Jamie fights like a man who understands what is at stake, but also like a man who has already begun to accept loss. That is what makes it more dangerous. There is no hesitation in him anymore. Only direction. Only purpose. But purpose alone does not guarantee survival. Claire watches it all, and something inside her begins to shift. Because this is no longer just history happening in front of her. It feels personal in a way that goes beyond pain. Like the universe itself is pulling her toward a moment she was always meant to reach, no matter how impossible it seems. And then it happens. A single shift in chaos. A moment where everything narrows down to one fragile point in time. Jamie is caught in it, not dramatically at first, not in a way anyone immediately understands, just a break in rhythm, a gap in control, the kind of moment that exists in every battle where fate quietly changes direction without announcing itself. Claire sees it instantly, and everything in her moves before thought can catch up, because this is what she has always done, run toward the impossible, even when it means breaking herself in the process. As she reaches him, the world around them feels like it slows, as if time itself is watching closely now. The noise fades at the edges. The battle becomes distant. All that remains is the space between life and something far more uncertain. Jamie is still there, but everything around him feels fragile now. And Claire realizes something she has always feared but never fully accepted, that healing is no longer just about saving a body, it is about fighting time itself. Everything changes in a way no one is prepared for. The battlefield is still loud, still chaotic, still burning with the weight of history being rewritten in real time, But for Claire, all of it fades into something distant and unreal. The world narrows down to one moment, one breath, one impossible truth standing in front of her. Jamie is slipping. Not in the dramatic way stories usually show. Not instantly, not cleanly. It is slower, more terrifying. Like time itself is letting go of him piece by piece. And Claire refuses to accept it. Her hands move with everything she has learned across lifetimes. Every skill, every instinct, every impossible thing she has ever witnessed or survived comes together in this one point. But for the first time, she feels something she has never felt before. Resistance from reality itself. As if the world is no longer allowing her to simply heal, no longer allowing her to correct what is happening. As if there are rules even she cannot bend anymore. Jamie looks at her, and in that look is everything they have lived through. Not fear alone, not pain alone, but understanding. A deep, quiet acceptance that has been forming long before this moment arrived. He knows what this could mean. He knows what she might try to do, and part of him wants to stop her, not because he does not believe in her, but because he understands the cost better than anyone. But Claire is already beyond hesitation, because love for her has never been about balance. It has always been about refusal. Refusal to accept endings that feel wrong, refusal to let time decide everything. And then something happens that no one can fully explain. The air shifts. Not like wind, not like weather, like reality itself is tearing at the seams. There is a sound that does not belong to the battlefield. A deep, resonant pull, like the world remembering something it had long forgotten. Light behaves strangely at the edges of vision. Shadows stretch in unnatural ways. Even sound feels unstable, like it is being pulled through something unseen. And Claire feels it. The blue light. Not as a memory, not as theory, but as something alive again. Something responding, something watching. Jamie's presence flickers between certainty and disappearance, and Claire realizes the terrifying truth in that instant. This is no longer just life and death. This is time reacting to itself. The battle continues around them, but it feels distant now, almost irrelevant. Because what is happening here is bigger than war, bigger than politics, bigger than survival. It is the collision of everything Claire has ever believed about fate, and everything she has ever tried to deny. And in the middle of it, she makes a choice. Not out of strategy, not out of logic, but out of love that refuses to be measured. A choice that pulls her beyond what she has ever done before. And the moment she steps fully into it, she understands something that cannot be undone. Time does not only take, sometimes it demands something in return. The world does not return to normal after that moment. It fractures. Not visibly at first, but deeply, in ways that cannot be ignored once they begin to spread. The battlefield is still there, the war still continues, but it feels secondary now. Like history itself has been interrupted by something far more powerful than conflict. Everything has shifted around Claire, and she knows it immediately. Jamie is still close enough to reach, but something about him feels changed. Not gone, not lost, but suspended between states, like reality itself is unsure of what he is supposed to be now. Claire holds on to him with everything she has left, refusing to accept the silence that tries to take his place. Because silence is the first step of ending. And she refuses endings. Not like this. Not ever. But the world does not respond to refusal the way she wishes it would. The blue light is still there, faint, unstable, like it is struggling to maintain form. It does not feel like power anymore. It feels like consequence. Something ancient and indifferent, reacting not to emotion but to imbalance. As if Claire has crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed without cost, and she begins to understand. This is not a gift. It never was. It is a connection, and every connection has a price. Jamie's presence flickers closer, then farther, like he is being pulled by two realities at once. Claire feels it in every part of her, this unbearable pull between saving him and losing herself in the process. There is no clean choice here. No heroic version of events where everything is restored without consequence. Only trade. Only sacrifice. Around them, the world continues to break apart into movement and noise, but Claire's focus narrows until nothing else exists. Not the war, not the outcome, only him. Only the fragile thread holding him to this moment in time. And she realizes something devastating. She has always believed she was fighting time, but now she understands the truth. Time was never the enemy. It was the balance, and she has disrupted it. Jamie reaches for her, or perhaps she reaches for him. At this point, even memory becomes uncertain, as if reality itself is struggling to record what is happening correctly. Their hands meet, or almost meet, or remain connected in a way that does not fully belong to the physical world anymore. And in that connection, something shifts. Not loudly, not violently, but completely. A choice is made, not spoken, not planned, but inevitable. A decision formed in the space where love and desperation become indistinguishable. And as it unfolds, Claire understands that whatever happens next will not simply change their story. It will define what their story was always meant to be. Because this is no longer about survival. It is about what survives after everything else is taken away. And as the light finally expands, soft, overwhelming, and impossibly familiar, Claire realizes the final truth she has been avoiding since the beginning of time itself. Some endings are not endings at all. They are transformations. And nothing will ever be the same again. Outlander, Season 8, Episode 10 brings the story to its most intense and emotional point, as war, fate, and time collide in one final turning moment. As the Battle of Kings Mountain erupts, Jamie stands at the center of a fight that could decide not just the future of his family, but the course of history itself. Claire is pulled into a struggle far beyond medicine and survival, as strange forces linked to time begin to awaken around her once again. As the battlefield descends into chaos, love becomes both a strength and a risk. Every choice carries a price, and every second feels like it could be the last. When Jamie is pushed to the edge of life and death, Claire is forced to confront a power she has never fully understood. The mysterious force of the blue light that may hold the key to saving him, or losing everything in return. This finale raises impossible questions. Can time truly be changed for love, or does every attempt to rewrite fate come with consequences that no one can escape? With emotional farewells, shocking twists, and a battle that changes everything, Episode 10 promises a conclusion that is both heartbreaking and unforgettable. The end is not just coming, it is already here.